So today we're diving into this world of A Court of Thorns and Roses.
ACOTAR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ACOTAR, like all the fans say.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
know that a lot of people are like, is this worth it?
Yeah.
What's the hype
Yeah.
all about? Is this just a typical romance or is there something more?
Right.
So we're going to use Wikipedia book reviews and even some of these like fan videos that we found
Yeah,
and really kind of try to unpack all of that.
definitely.
So uh, first, just setting the scene, we have a human fair
Mhm.
and she gets kind of swept into this land of Prythian, uh, which is ruled by fairies.
Yes.
And there are 7 High Lords,
Mm-hmm.
each of which has their own court. So you've got like spring, summer, autumn, winter,
Do Night Dawn.
day, night, dawn.
It's very elaborate.
Yeah, it's pretty captivating right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess tell me a little bit about like the author and the kind of overall feel of this series.
Well, Sarah J Maas is the author, and she's like really known for drawing from classic fairy tales.
Oh,
Yeah, so you get that like Beauty and the Beast vibe with
Oof.
Tamlin.
okay,
He's the High Lord of the Spring Court,
okay,
and Fair ends up with him
okay.
after she kills a fairy
Oh,
and is taken to Prythian as punishment.
okay.
But then there's also Rysand.
Oh, I've heard about him.
Yeah, he's the High Lord of the Night Court.
Interesting.
So that adds a whole other layer
Okay.
that has all the fans like buzzing.
Okay, so she's kind of playing with all these familiar tropes.
Yeah, but creating something totally new.
And it's working, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because Wikipedia says that it's sold over 13 million copies
That's wild.
since its debut in 2015. Plus, they're trying to make a Hulu adaptation,
Yeah, supposedly.
though I think it's on hold.
Yeah, I think so.
But okay, so what about the story itself?
Right.
Is it all just romance?
No, not quite.
What?
Romance is a big part of it, obviously.
Mhm.
But the Bookish Wayfarer review talked about how ACOTAR is also a story of self-discovery. Yeah, so Fair starts out as this relatable but kind of helpless character.
Yeah.
You know, she has to hunt to survive,
Yeah.
protect her family,
Okay.
and then all of a sudden she's in this like magical world
Right.
and she has to adapt.
Yeah.
And she ultimately becomes a powerful heroine.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that journey of empowerment kind of runs parallel
Wow.
to their romantic entanglements.
Okay.
So it makes it more than just a love story.
So we have this strong female lead. We have a magical world and like a hint of danger.
Definitely.
So what can you tell us about this curse that seems to be at the heart of all this?
Oh, yeah. The curse plaguing Tamlin and his court
Okay.
is like really key to understanding the power dynamics in Prythian.
Okay.
So they're forced to wear these masks.
Okay.
Their powers are diminished.
Ah.
And it's all because of this Amarantha,
Okay.
this just cruel antagonist
Right.
who has a history with Tamlin.
Okay.
And the With Cindy video had a hilarious take
I saw that.
on like Amarantha's ridiculous riddle
Yeah, it was so ridiculous.
and the trials that Farrah has to go through
Oh, right.
to break the curse.
It was so over the top
Oh, yeah.
and like
Yeah, and with Cindy pointed out how Farrah is always disobeying instructions,
oh yeah, she does,
which always gets her into more trouble.
which always backfires.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, okay, if Tamlin and his court are supposed to be so powerful,
Right.
even with their magic reduced,
Mm-hmm.
why can't they just like overpower Amarantha?
Well, that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
The curse really highlights the limitations of brute force.
Okay.
So it shows how cunning and manipulation
Oh,
can be even more powerful
interesting.
than just strength.
Okay, so it sets the stage for Fair's growth
Exactly.
because she has to learn to navigate this world not just with physical strength, but with strategic thinking
Right.
and challenging those in power.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that brings us to this Rysand.
Yes.
He's the High Lord of the Night Court,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a fan favorite, right?
Huge fan favorite.
The With Cindy video said he has a lot more depth
Oh, yeah, for sure.
than the other characters.
Definitely.
So what's his deal?
Well, his allure is in his moral ambiguity.
Okay.
Like he's shrouded in mystery,
Okay.
powerful,
Mhm.
and seems to be playing the long game.
Oh.
Bookish Wayfarer. Even hinted at a possible romantic connection
Interesting.
between him and Fair.
Oh, so like a love triangle, kind of?
Yeah, it adds another layer of complexity
Okay.
and has the fans like speculating like crazy.
So we have this magical world, a compelling heroine, a curse, and this mysterious High Lord who might be more than he seems. That sounds like a lot more than a love story.
Oh, way more.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like so much more than just a love triangle or something like that.
Right, right.
It's really captivating because it blends like those fairy tale elements that we all know.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it has all these unexpected twists. And the characters are so complex. It's not just about finding true love or whatever. Right.
It's also about discovering your inner strength.
Okay.
And like challenging all your preconceived notions.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings us to Fair's transformation.
Yes.
Into a high fae. We know it's a big moment.
Huge.
But like, what does it mean in the context of this world?
Right. So becoming high fae,
Yeah.
it's way more than just getting like a power upgrade. Like it really signifies a change in Fair's identity and like where she belongs. It makes you think about like, what does it even mean to be human versus fae?
Right.
And how do those lines blur
Yeah.
when you have both?
Okay. So it's not just like about physical strength or magical abilities.
Right. It's about how she sees herself.
Right.
How she fits in this world.
Okay.
And how other people perceive her.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's such a contrast to Amarantha.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
Because she's just abusing power left and right. Oh, yes. She's all about control and manipulation.
Yeah.
It shows the dark side of being powerful.
Right. And that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because ACOTAR doesn't shy away from like the hard stuff.
No.
Like it really explores the complexities of power.
Yeah. Like how it can be used for good and bad. And how even people with good intentions can struggle with it.
Like Tamlin.
Right.
Right.
Like he's supposed to be the hero in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then you see some like controlling behavior. Like, is he really a good guy or is he just...
Yeah, the With Cindy video is saying like maybe he's not the perfect guy.
Right.
That we all thought he was.
Yeah. His character arc is interesting because it really challenges that whole Beauty and the Beast thing.
Right. Is he actually a good guy trapped by a curse?
Right. Or is that just him?
Or is that just who he is?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good question.
Yeah. It makes me think.
And then you have Rysand.
Right.
Who, like, at first seems like the villain, but then turns out to be like...
way more nuanced.
Yeah, way more complicated.
Yeah.
Right? And he really makes you question, like, who are the good guys and who are the bad guys?
Yeah, and that's where J Maas is so good.
Yeah.
At using deceptive appearances.
Okay.
Like, even the curse itself, with those masks everyone wears,
right.
It's a symbol.
Oh.
It's not just about hiding your face.
Right.
It's about hiding your emotions, your secrets,
Uh-huh.
the whole struggle to keep up appearances.
Okay, so it's not just a plot device.
Right.
It's like woven into the whole story.
It's everywhere.
Wow.
And it goes beyond just Rysand and Tamlin.
Okay.
It's the whole world of Prythian, all that political stuff.
Yeah.
The shifting alliances. You never know who to trust.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And what about their motives?
Yeah, exactly.
It keeps you guessing.
It definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah. And speaking of keeping things interesting,
we
can't ignore the romance.
Right.
Which is like a big part of J Maas's writing.
Yeah, the romance in ACOTAR is definitely intense and passionate.
Yeah.
But it's not just about physical attraction.
Bro.
It's about all the complicated stuff in relationships.
Right.
Desire and trust.
Yeah.
All the challenges of love in a world full of danger and betrayal.
Right. And with Cindy was saying that, like, even though the relationships are messy, they feel real.
Right.
Like the characters make mistakes.
Exactly.
They have flaws.
Yeah.
And it makes their connections feel more authentic.
So much more relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a refreshing take on romance
yeah.
because it's not just about finding the one.
Right.
Right. It explores all different kinds of love, like family friendships.
Yeah. It's about finding your chosen family.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Finding the people who support you
Okay.
and empower you.
And Prythian definitely seems like a world you could get lost in.
Oh, for sure.
Like the Bookish Wayfarer review said it was so well imagined.
Yeah.
With all these different courts, different cultures and histories.
It's all so vivid.
Yeah. And I love how she brings in all this mythology and folklore. It gives the world that extra layer.
It really does.
Of depth and history.
You really feel like Prythian has always existed.
Right. It's not just for the story.
Yeah. Like it existed before Fair got there. And it's going to keep going.
Yeah. And there's so much to uncover.
Yeah.
Like ACOTAR is not afraid to get into the heavy stuff like trauma, abuse, the fight for freedom, equality.
It's a series that explores the dark side of humanity,
Right.
but it also has that message of hope and resilience.
Yeah.
Like you can heal from your past
Right.
and fight for a better future.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's that mix of the dark stuff and the hope that makes it so much more than just romance.
Totally.
No.
Yeah. And it's really connected with people. Like it sparked all these discussions.
Yeah.
Even some controversy.
Really?
Yeah. Like about the relationships and like the violence.
Okay.
So it started some important conversations about representation,
Go ahead.
consent, like serious stuff.
Right.
But even with all that,
Yeah.
it's obvious that this series has made an impact on fantasy romance.
Yeah. Bookish Wayfarer
Right.
mentioned that like book hangover
Oh, yeah.
that people have after finishing it.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah. And I think that speaks to
It really does.
how much of an impression it
I
makes.
think it sticks with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a testament to the author,
Definitely.
right? Like she's created this world
Yeah.
and characters that people really connect with.
And they want to stay in Prythian.
Yeah.
They want to see what happens next.
So like back to our original question then. Is it worth the hype?
It depends what you're looking for as a reader.
Right.
If you like complicated characters, worlds that are like super detailed, and a story that's got it all,
Yeah.
romance adventure,
Okay.
you know, thought-provoking themes,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Okay.
It's not for everyone, though.
Right.
It definitely has some strong opinions.
But that's part of what makes it interesting to talk about.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah, it's a reminder that like books can really make you think,
Yeah.
challenge your ideas. It's powerful.
Okay, so we've just scratched the surface here.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But hopefully we've given you a taste
A little taste.
of what makes it so captivating,
Yeah.
right? And this is a series that like invites you to go deeper,
Oh, yeah.
right? To get lost in it
Yeah.
and like come up with your own interpretation.
That's the best part.
Yeah, and maybe even embrace your own inner strength.
Like fairy.
Yeah. So if you're interested, pick up a copy
See for yourself.
and let us know what you think.
Yeah. We'd love to hear.
All right, that's it for our deep dive into ACOTAR.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was great.